everyone, welcome back to another weekly episode of Simplicity TV, and we are here in the Simplicity Kitchen. So I wanted to share with you something that I recently discovered. So around the holidays, my husband, so he loves coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, I never have been, and my husband does. And so last year I had bought him a French press. Loved that, was using it, and then we were with friends who had an AeroPress, and that changed his life. And so at Christmas I ordered him an AeroPress, and that's now how he makes his coffee in the morning. And so I was looking at this French press and I'm thinking, well, do I keep it? Do I donate it? I don't drink coffee, why do we need this? And then I had an aha moment where I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I wonder if I could take my loose leaf teas and I could actually use the French press to press down, and to do that instead of using my Bodum or some of the other things I've used in the past, which are just kind of messy and, you know, more, if things are too challenging, you're not gonna do them, it's a bottleneck. So this is what I have been doing and I love it. So I'm gonna show you a little elixir that you can make. Now you could absolutely blend everything together. I'm gonna show it the quick, lazy way in my mug with a whisk. So what I've done here, I use my salting kettle. I love this kettle. It's a totally unsponsored episode right now. What I love about it is that it has 4 different temperatures. So I can have it at 70, 80, 90, or 100 degrees. For today, I did this one at about 90 degrees. And so I have already got my nettle. So this is from a company called Foggy River Farm. Nettle is amazing for the liver. It's also fantastic for women who have higher androgens. So whether it's higher testosterone or higher DHEA, really, really supportive in terms of reducing that level of inflammation. And so I've got about 1.5 tablespoons of it inside the bottom of the actual French press. And I've taken the top out. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pour the water in. Now I actually used a little Sharpie and made a marker for myself, just knowing the size of mugs that I use, what I would need. And so I'm just gonna pour the water over top. And this is super exciting right now. And then from here, you just take the topper part, the lid. You're not gonna do your press down yet. You just put it over top to kind of keep the heat in. And I'm just gonna let that sit there. And I like to steep mine for about 5 to 10 minutes. Once the steeping is done, then we're gonna pull this all together. Now we're gonna let that do its thing. In the meantime, I'm gonna get my dry ingredients into the base of my mug. So I've chosen to do a clear mug today because then you can actually see what it is that I am doing. And so I'm gonna start off by putting a scoop of collagen into the bottom of this. Now remember what I said, you could 100% do this into a blender, absolutely. I just, you know, I don't always feel like pulling the blender out and having to clean that. A whisk is easy. So I've got a scoop of collagen. This is my favorite collagen. It's from Genuine Health. They have a bovine collagen and they also have a marine-based collagen. My body does really well with collagen, and I've just found through testing and sampling that the bovine and my system, they do really good things together. So I have about 1 to 2 scoops of collagen, typically every day. In an elixir, I might put it into a shake or some coconut yogurt. I love it for my gut, for my skin, for my hair, and for my nails. Next thing I'm gonna put in is, this is from Nativa, and this is an MCT powder. So I can't handle MCT oil. Digestively, it goes right through me. I get heart palpitations. I do not feel good from it at all. However, using the powder, my body just breaks it down on a different level. And I think the difference is with this one specifically from Nativa is that it has an insoluble fiber in it, acacia fiber, that is like a prebiotic fiber. It's a resistant starch. And so it slows down how quickly your body is responding. It's also fantastic for feeding your good bacteria in your gut. And it's also very satiating. So this actually, in the mornings when I'm doing, you know, fasting a little bit longer, or I just have a really busy morning and I'm not gonna have time to eat for a little bit, if I can really amp up what happens into my tea elixir, I'm still feeling good and I have that brain fire and I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna do about 1/2 scoop of it into here. And I'd recommend that when you're starting off with MCT powders, oils, any of that, I always say, like, do a little bit less than what you think you need just to kind of get things going. And then because I love it, it's my absolute favorite, I'm gonna do some cinnamon and put that in there. So you can already see in the bottom here, whoo, this is just your powders. And then I'm gonna take my little whisk Okay, we have 3 of these in the house because I use whisks a lot. I use them for baking, cooking, and doing this. So everything is all mixed together now. This is still steeping. I'm gonna do a little bit of the vanilla oat milk, and I do the tiniest little bit, and then I use an unsweetened, today it's gonna be cashew, but it could honestly be whatever non-dairy that you enjoy. And I do the tiniest little bit. I'm not a huge sweet person, but I do like that little something on the palate. And you could do it completely unsweetened if you wanted to. So you see here, like I've now made it from this powder into a little bit of a paste. I'm gonna add a little bit more milk. You do not have to do any of the things that I am doing right now and add any of this in. You could absolutely just have it as a plain old tea. That's what I would do in the evening, but the morning I want something more. Okay, so now that is all good and ready to go. So now here is the magic. I am now going to make sure this is sealed. I'm gonna press all the way down. All the leaves and all the goodness of that tea is now pushed to the bottom. Everything is coming up to the top. In an ideal scenario, with this compression here, I would actually let this sit for another 5 minutes, but I don't sing and dance, and so I have nothing to occupy your time for the next 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna pour it in as is. So I wanna be careful keeping this on top here. And then I'm gonna start to pour it in. See that? None of the residual dry leaf coming in. I'm gonna let it get to a certain point. I have an accent now. I'm gonna stir this again to make sure it's all together. And then I'm gonna top it up. I have a little bit more left for later. And honestly, like so simple and easy. The hardest thing is making sure you have the ingredients in the house. And then once you have them, it's just putting it together. So I'm gonna go enjoy my nettle tea latte and the rest of my day. I hope this gave you a little inspiration for more simplicity and more ease. And I hope you have a fantastic day as well.